Welcome to the explainer. You know that ancient symbol of a snake eating its own tail? The Ouroboros. It's meant to represent infinity, an endless cycle. But what if it's also a warning? A warning for the future of AI. Today, we're diving into a fascinating and, frankly, a little unsettling theory, the circular collapse. The legendary science fiction author Isaac Asimov, he once pointed out this really dangerous gap, the one between how much knowledge we're gathering and how little wisdom we have to actually handle it. And you know what? That gap is exactly where we find ourselves with AI today. It's right at the heart of our whole story. I mean, think about it. So much of the AI we have now, it learns from us, right? It scours our art, our writing, all of our human data. But what happens when the internet gets absolutely flooded with stuff AI made itself? The student is literally about to become its own teacher. So what happens then? Right, so this is where we get to the core idea. This potential future, it actually has a name, the circular collapse. And you could think of it like a really subtle glitch in the system, one that starts inside what's basically an AI hall of mirrors. Okay, so here's the technical term for it, the regurgitation flaw. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like making a photocopy of a photocopy. You know how that works, right? The first copy, pretty good. But by the time you get to the 10th copy, it's just this blurry, degraded mess. Well, when an AI starts training on its own synthetic content, it's kicking off that exact same kind of feedback loop, one that could literally blur our collective knowledge. So let's break down how this cycle actually works. It's pretty simple, really. Step 1, we humans create something original. Step 2, an AI learns from what we made. Step 3, that AI then creates its own content. And here's the really dangerous part. Step 4, the next generation of AI comes along and learns from that synthetic, already copied content. You see, it's a closed loop. And with every single cycle, it risks becoming just a paler, weaker imitation of the last. Now, what's really important to get here is this isn't about some sci-fi superintelligence taking over. Not at all. As the chess grandmaster Garry Kasparov, a guy who famously went head-to-head with a machine, points out, the real danger is way more subtle. It's about our own dependency. I mean, what really happens when we just stop thinking for ourselves and let the machine do it for us? And that's the thing, this technical glitch, this regurgitation flaw, it doesn't just stay inside the machine. The real risk is that it spills out and creates this massive, planet-sized echo chamber for the human mind, possibly even leading to a kind of cognitive decline for all of us. There was this great technology historian, Neil Postman, and he had a brilliant way of putting it. He said new technology isn't just additive, it's ecological. It doesn't just add something new, it changes the entire environment. And that is so true for AI, isn't it? It's not just a better calculator. It is fundamentally changing the entire ecosystem of how we think and create. So to really get a handle on this risk, you have to look at the fundamental difference between us and the machine. Human creativity, true originality, it's all about taking risks, using your imagination, and sometimes just completely breaking the old patterns. But AI is a master of predicting patterns based on what already exists. It doesn't create something truly new. It just remixes the old. And this brings us to a question that honestly, we all need to start asking ourselves. I mean, think about your own day. When you use an AI to summarize a long report or draft a quick email, are you just being more efficient? Or are you actually outsourcing the very muscle of thinking itself? Because thinking really is like a muscle, isn't it? If you stop exercising it, if you stop struggling with critical thought and imaginative problem solving, it just gets weaker. And the big worry here is that all these convenient algorithmic shortcuts are leading to a slow, gradual atrophy of our most valuable human skills. Okay, so let's just zoom out for a second. Let's think bigger picture. If this trend keeps going, not just for a few years, but for generations, could we actually be heading for some kind of millennial reset? A new intellectual dark age powered by our own technology? The potential path to this kind of regression, it's a really slippery slope. I mean, right now, you could say we're in the age of assistance. AI is our tool, something that helps us. But it's so easy for that to slide into an age of dependence, where AI becomes less of a tool and more of a crutch. And the ultimate fear? That leads to an intellectual dark age, a time where genuine human innovation just grinds to a halt. So if we actually did fall into a state like that, how could we possibly recover? Well, the proposed solution is actually kind of incredible. The idea is to build a seed vault, but not for crops. It would be a seed vault for pure, uncontaminated human knowledge. Yeah, that's right. These knowledge vaults would be these protected archives of authentic, human-made art and literature and science completely insulated from any AI influence. They would basically serve as a lifeline, preserving the blueprints of originality so that a future society could one day rediscover them. Okay, but look, this dark future, it's a warning, right? It's not a prophecy. It doesn't have to happen. The good news is we can absolutely still choose a different path. So, the big question is, how do we prevent this collapse from ever happening? Well, there are a bunch of proposed solutions on the table, and they all kind of share a common theme. It all comes down to being intentional. It means actively creating spaces for pure human thought, reforming our education system to prioritize critical reasoning over just getting the easy answer, and treating human originality like the precious, vital resource that it is. You know, when you boil it all down, it comes to this one fundamental choice. Are we going to use AI as a replacement, something that just eliminates the need for human struggle and creativity? Or are we going to use it as an assistant, something that accelerates our own process of trial and error? One of those paths leads to dependence. The other preserves and maybe even enhances our own creativity. And in the end, this whole conversation circles right back to this incredibly powerful truth from the psychologist B.F. Skinner. He said the real problem isn't whether machines think, but whether men do. The question isn't about their intelligence, it's about ours. So that really brings us to the one big final question that we should all be asking ourselves as we move forward into this new world. Is AI going to be a tool that we use to augment our own brilliance? Or is it going to become a mirror that simply reflects our own decline? Ultimately, the choice is ours. If you enjoyed this explainer, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.